Jimmer, welcome to the sway.
Is that what we're calling this
right now? This is
What we're doing
this
right
is the
now.
sway. It's become the
all of us are
sway.
swaying. I'm like, what is going on? It's my first cruise, so I'm not used to this.
It's a little. The first one I went on was not like this. It was not like this.
No, it was
But
it was fine.
there weren't as many BYU fans.
Yes.
This is awesome. This is awesome.
For sure.
Aside from some notable movement in the ship over the past hour, how have things been for you?
I thought you were going to transition that with movement and Cougar. Anchor boy?
No. Listen, give me my opportunity.
Okay, my bad, dude.
Okay, we'll get there. We'll get there. But how have things been for you the first few days of cruising with the Cougs?
Yeah, no, it's been fun. You know, we knew what we were signing up for when we got onto the cruise, right? We knew there was 3,500 BYU fans here. We knew it was going to be a great time. But the way that they've decked it out, all BYU, has been really fun to see, and people just genuinely love the school. Like, they just really do. They're just out there. They just want to be a part of everything that's going on. The bartenders, you know, they have all soda, you know, all the way across instead of liquor and all this stuff. So it's perfect for us, and it's been a fun time. And Whitney and I are enjoying it with no kids right now, so it's been good.
Let's talk about your bracket. Your bracket was unbelievable, right? How many did you end up getting correct? Because you were like almost perfect through 2 rounds.
Yeah, I was close. I was I think I missed 2 in the first round. And then I did pretty well. I was like top 5 in the bracket that I was in for Yahoo Sports. I was doing stuff with Yahoo Sports, and it was doing really well. And then, you know, at the end, Duke killed me for winning the whole thing, because I had them winning it, and that's what ultimately just didn't end up happening. But I was doing real well. I usually don't do that well, so I was glad it was public when I did it well, right? Like, that's what you want. If you're gonna do something, do it public, right? As long as it's good, you're all set. But yeah, it was fun.
That was awesome. Yeah.
That was good.
Speaking of the bracket and BYU basketball, what was it like emotionally for you to watch BYU get back to the Sweet 16 for the first time since you were playing?
And in Denver, where you did it.
Yeah, exactly. No, it was right up the street from us, right? So it was super easy to get there. I was able to go both rounds. The kids loved it. They had a great time. They were looking for Cougar tails. They didn't have them, you know, at the arena, but they enjoyed going to the game, and it was just, the energy was awesome, right? It was sold out for both games. I knew that was going to be 80% BYU fans. Like, there was blue in there everywhere, and the energy was just incredible to watch them go through that and do the same type of thing that we were able to do, and be able to win those 2 games and get to a Sweet 16 again, and have BYU be super relevant again in the basketball world has been really fun, because now obviously that momentum is going to be moved forward into this next year with the recruiting class that we have coming in. And so it's a good time to be a BYU basketball fan, and that was special for the guys. I was just happy for everyone involved, with the coaching staff to the players and the fans. It was really cool.
I didn't ever think we could get to this point where there would be a number 1 recruit in the country who's not a member of the church who wants to come to BYU. Obviously, the amazing staff, the amazing culture, the winning, the development, competitive NIL all combined to make this possible. Where are we headed? Because what we're seeing with BYU feels like we're perhaps going into uncharted territory already.
Yeah, no, we already are, for sure. I mean, it's just the fact of the matter. I mean, we were just prepared for what was coming, and I think that we did a great job getting everyone collectively involved, from, you know, the NIL side to the staff to the administration to the sports administration. Like, everybody was aligned of like, hey, this is an opportunity for us to be great, and if BYU is great, it doesn't also just mean that we're good at basketball or we're good at football. It means that the church is out there. And I think that's the ultimate goal, is to be able to reach as many people as we possibly can and go out and serve. And I think being able to be in front of millions of fans and be in the limelight is good for BYU, and it's good for the church. It's good for the program. So I think all of these things are a greater plan. So it's good.
Kevin Young, in 1 year, I mean, think about this. It hasn't even been from the time we were talking right now. It hasn't even been 365 days.
Yeah.
Wild.
Since he was hired as the head coach of BYU. Why do you feel like he's a guy that is ready to handle the rigors of balancing NIL, new age recruiting, and now very, very quickly increasing expectations for BYU basketball.
Yeah, I think for him, this is a little bit more normal to him, I feel like, than the old college was, because he's been in the pros, right? So they deal with contract situations all the time. They deal with free agency all the time, looking at guys from other teams in your league, like, that are playing and being like, hey, I like that guy. Maybe he'll go in the transfer portal, or maybe he'll become a free agent. If that's the case, we can look at that. So he's kind of been in that world before, so I feel like he was really well suited going into that. Whereas, if you're an old college coach, like you may not have caught on quite as quickly, or are stubborn and don't want to do something along those lines, or they retire and they're just like, we're done. You know what I mean? So new people are coming in. So he was prepared for that. He understood the system. He knew what was coming. And obviously people want to come play for him because he, coached the best players in the world, and he's done it at a high level. He's helped develop them. He's an offensive genius. Like, people know that, and they see that, and they're like, hey, this is a good guy to go help develop you as a basketball player. And he brought in a pro staff and a pro system. So he did it the right way in today's day of NIL basketball. So it's fun to see. And he's just a good guy. I mean, the two coaches that we have heading our programs for basketball and football is just special right now, along with all the other coaches we have at BYU. It's just a really good age for coaches at BYU.
Remind me, did you know him in the NBA as like a member of the church on staffs? Did you interact with him? I assume he wasn't on the Suns quite yet when you had a minute there?
Yeah, he was not on the Suns yet. I think he was in Philly. So we obviously ran into each other. The place that we ran in and knew each other first was when I was playing with the Westchester Knicks, and he was with the Delaware 87ers.
Yeah,
I think
the opposing head coach on teams you played against?
Correct. He was the opposing head coach of the teams, and he's like, it wasn't fun game planning for you, because at that time I was scoring nicely as well, and we played them a lot too, because proximity in the G League is important because you don't travel too much. So yeah, we played quite a few times then. That's how I got to know him a little bit, and then obviously kept moving up the rankings, and then just would see him and say hello. But obviously, when that came into fruition, I was like, yeah, that's obviously a great hire.
Jimmer Fredette is on BYU Sports Nation. We are cruising with the Cougs. I know that you're a fan of guys getting paid, and because of, you understand how much work goes into this. Mm-hmm. And obviously I know people have joked about, what would it have been for Jimmer? And I'm like,
I was just thinking of what the number would be.
We don't know, and it's probably a little bit of a sore spot.
And it's probably $4 million.
Right? Okay. But along with this, NIL craze and the growth that has come there, how do you feel about the perpetual free agency situation and the transfer portal that is now becoming so overwhelming in college athletics and certainly in basketball?
Yeah. No, I talked about this the other day on social media, just about the transfer portal and everything. It's obviously, it's more power to the kids, right? They're able to go out there and test what their worth is, every single year if they want to. And, for them, it's great. Like, that's what you probably should do as a player. If you want to make more money, if you want to be more valuable, you go out there, see what you can get. And then even if it's just leverage for getting back to your own school and be like, hey, you got to pay me more or whatever that is. So I understand the thought process, the mind set behind it. But it is kind of hard to navigate that whole system, specifically when the date is before the season's over with. So these guys are trying to recruit people while they're playing still. And, that's obviously, I don't think that's fair. I think they need to move that back and make sure it's after the season so that then you can start talking with kids. And then what I think they need to do is I think they need to get into multi-year contracts. Like, that's my biggest thing. Like, if you can just kind of set it up where it's, hey, we're going to do this like a professional. We're a professional team. That's what we are. We're playing. Let's do it professionally. And let's do a 2-year deal, a 3-year deal. We'll pay you this amount of money. If you want to get out and leave, or it's going to be some type of buyout situation, whether it's from, BYU or the team that's bringing you in is going to get a buyout. So a lot of these smaller schools that are, like a farm system for, like a Kentucky or a different team like that for BYU, say, hey, we got a kid, but he's on a 2-year deal. If you want him, you're going to have to pay us $500,000 back. Yeah. Here's the buyout, and now you're
smaller
coming
program
through.
Benefits.
Correct. And now they get to go use that money to go find someone else, right? So it's like just leveling the playing field, going that situation is very European type situation. Like that's what they do in Europe. They do it every year. There's 1-2 year deals. They're dealing with buyout situations. There's always free agents. There's a ton of them, and they're kind of mixed. So it's a very European type system. But I think if they could do that, it's going to settle the storm a little bit and like be like, I can't just go into the portal without some type of interest or benefit for the team and for yourself, right? Like I think that there needs to be some lockstep there, but if they can do that, I think it'll be fine.
I wonder if there will be a players union and then they have a collective bargaining agreement and so on and so forth. We'll see. Yeah. At what point, and maybe you're still in the middle of this, have you emotionally gotten over getting injured in the Olympics? Because that was hard to watch. Because I know you had a dream and you guys had a shot at the gold, and you tear your groin in a crazy way.
Yeah, no, I'd never been injured like that before. Like I've been relatively healthy my whole career, never had anything like that. And of course, second game in the very beginning, just tear adductor and the gracilis, like 2 ligaments, and just couldn't. Like people were like, "Could you try?" I couldn't try to play. It just I had no. It was like it's like tearing your ACL. Like you can't move on it. It's unstable. You know what I mean? So it was devastating, to be honest with you. Like we were, a lot of tears, after that for a few different days, and I was just sitting there, but I couldn't tell anybody about it because the FIBA rules, if I had no chance to play, they could have said you don't get to sit on the bench. So I would have had to just sit in the stands, and I felt like I was more valuable at least being on the bench, like trying to help them coach almost and say what's going on and yelling at the refs or whatever I could to help. And so so no one knew what happened.
You couldn't explain it.
I couldn't explain it until after the Olympics. Everyone's like, what's going on? Why aren't you playing? And that type of thing. So that was hard, but I felt like it was the best part of the team. And, you're never going to get over something like that. You know what I mean? But I've come to terms with it. Obviously, it's something where I truly believe everything happens for a reason. Like that's just me as a person. I don't know why it happened or what the purpose was, but for me, it's about, all right, understanding that's not the most important thing in my life, right? Like my family and faith, those are the most important things. If I can have that perspective and that be my plan A, it puts things at least a little bit more at ease. Like there's a greater plan out there, and some people will benefit from hearing my story and understanding what the difficulty was, because there's people that have it way worse than I have, and you just understand that. And I was an Olympian, so I mean you can always have that, and had a great experience, and you move on.
I thought you posted up well against LeBron on the front of the boat in the opening ceremony. I thought that was a great move.
I said, I was like, where's the flag? Okay, that's where they're going to be. So we just stood there, and it was pouring rain the whole time.
Yes.
And we said, no one wanted to go out there at first because it was raining. We're like, no, we're going out there. And we stood out there for an hour and a half before it started just to be in that spot, because I was like, Mom, you're going to see me on TV, right? Like this is going to be the spot.
Yes.
And so we made sure that happened.
Shout out to Alan Kay. That's what's up. That's what's up.
Kay, the incredible pickleball player, apparently, Jimmer. We talked about.
Yeah.
Kay, oh, yeah.
Kay plays 5 days a week.
Making some waves.
She's good. She was a good tennis player when she was younger. She's transitioned to pickleball, and she wants to take over the world.
First team all Glens Falls pickleball.
Yes,
I love that.
go.
That's great.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, as we finish this interview, I also do need to point out that Jimmer's passion was felt in the Olympics, and at least one official, correct me if I'm wrong, told you that you needed to settle down, correct?
100%. I was yelling. It was Vlad. His name was Vlad. Vlad is a good guy, and I was sitting there, and I was just yelling at him the whole time. And he looks at me. He's like, Jimmer, you got to calm down. I was like, Vlad, this is all I can do. Let me just yell at you. I'm like, I'm not trying to be mean or anything, but this is how I'm venting right now. And, so I was just trying to yell at anybody. That was the first game afterwards. So it was real raw and emotional. And, so I probably went over the line a little bit, but I was doing everything I could.
We're here for it.
Any Big 12 ref we don't agree with. Vlad, you're
Vlad!
Killing me, Vlad.
That's all I can do.
All I can do from here.
Jimmy, you're the best. Great to talk to you, man.
Thanks,
Glad to
Jimmer.
have you on the boat.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.